This is the show your college professor warned you about.
Prepare to be triggered. You're listening to The Patriarchy with Ian and Sal.
You're just, if they weren't already rich kids, you're just bringing this idea of like the government owes you something because of slavery or cops or whitey. I'm not sure why the government owes them anything, but it's so detrimental to the black community, and it kind of does break my heart. I wish black guys would stop killing each other so that I could fuck them.
Yes. Welcome to week 8 of the Patriarchy Show with Ian and myself, Sal. That's a little taste of what you're going to hear later on in the show.
We're fucking degenerates.
Yes, we are, man. It's a crazy last couple of days. We have some stuff to talk about. I don't know what to say. The country is divided as usual, but things are being polarized much more now because of recent events with police shootings and Black Lives Matter, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the Black Lives Matter is concerned, it's reached a fever pitch. It's reached the climax. Or no, I don't even actually. I take that back. I don't think it's reached its climax. I think we're still in the build-up. I think, because of the victimhood mentality that has been instilled into a lot of the black community, they then feel the moral justification or have the moral fortitude to therefore rise up against these fake oppressors. There's no one oppressing them, but now because they feel that way, they then have the moral fortitude and superiority to fight back. And this is all being enabled from the highest levels of the government. To start off with Barack Obama, it started 7 years ago at the beer summit. Okay. When he had the beer with the white cop to talk about race relations. I'm a normal fella. Hello there, fellow cops. Hello there, fellow white folks. Let us have a lager. Fuck you. And that's where it all began. And I've said it before. I said it last night, I think, on Ralph's stream. I don't remember race being such a huge issue in my lifetime as it is now. Over the past several years, since we've had the first black president, it's just been nonstop. You go on Twitter or you go on anything, and when a tragedy happens, you go, I hope he's black, or I hope he's not black, or I hope he's white, I hope he's Muslim, I hope he's Arab, I hope he's this, I hope it's a woman, I hope it's not for fuck's sake, we're so obsessed. And I mean, it's immediate. It's an immediate reaction.
It was different back then. You mentioned when we were growing up. I think the only huge racial thing we've seen was after the Rodney King incident, the LA riots. Yeah,
Rodney King. But I mean, it kind of didn't carry on for years.
No, it stayed within the community that the event happened in.
Right.
And
I mean, you had the Crown Heights, you had Rodney King, and I mean, really, that was it. This is every fucking day in every major city.
And like you said, the highest levels of government, they are letting this happen, and it's not just a race thing. You'll hear Bryden say it later. It's about the culture, and I think that it's not just black white. It's left versus right, and the left breeds a degenerate culture in this country.
Right.
Everything that they support, like I hate to say it, abortion and anti-constitution stances they have, and they sympathize with terrorists, and it's disgusting. The culture they breed is gave birth to what we see now.
Right, exactly. It's the same sort of line of thought as far as any other movement that gives birth or pushes things to push it to the limit, pushes things to the extreme. Or to the limit. Yeah, I
fucking song.
Do we have that? No. No, pushes things to the extreme. So you have, communism, which is already a terrible, awful ideology, and pushed to the extreme, tens of millions of people were killed. Or no, over 100 million people. Between 70 and 120 million people were killed because of extremist this is bad. This whole racial division, this whole black versus white, black versus cop is just getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. And there was honestly, he was a Black Lives Matter terrorist. Let's say it for what it is. Ralph had an exclusive story that he broke. It looks like the Dallas shooter attended a Trump protest in Denver. I mean, it really it looks like that. You can go to the RalphRetort.com. You can check that out. But yeah, the pictures, the guy looks like him.
Yeah, there's a lot of similar features: the eyes, the nose, facial expressions.
Yeah. So even Ralph says, notice the nose and eyebrows. See how the brow ends before the end of the bone. It's been really analyzed, the face of the guy. Ralph on his site has the interview he made with the man making these allegations. So these are all alleged. We're not saying for sure it's him. We're saying 99.9% we think it's him. Okay, he was at a Trump. Because I went Battle Beagle at Battle Beagle. I think on Twitter is his handle. Great guy. Talked to him a lot in different chats and on Twitter. He sent an archive of the shooter's Facebook, and I was going through it, and I found some groups he was part of. I think one was a Black Panthers Mississippi group, and it said they were like the official Black Panthers. I'll post the all this stuff on the website when we have all the links up or the show up when we announce the show. So yeah, it could be legit. He was part of these Kings of Queens. He hung out with Kevin James. And it was terrible. It was just an awful thing. Now, Kings and Queens of Egypt groups and Black Power Movement groups and Black supremacist groups and the Black Panthers group.
Man.
And Kevin James, which I find appalling.
Hey, that show, you're bringing me back to my old show. I have a history with, what's her name on that show? The one that plays the wife?
Leah Remini?
Leah Remini, yeah.
Yeah, she's hot.
I infiltrated her fan group just to screw over some woman that pissed me off. I got the president of her fan club fired.
That's evil. Well, did she deserve it?
Yes.
Yeah. See, you only do stuff to like that to people that deserve it. So if she deserved it, fuck her.
My wife was always like, "Why are you chatting with Leah Remini in your private messages on Twitter?" I'm in her fan club now. I'm going to be the president. I almost became the president of her fan club.
Of the Leah Remini fan club.
I did.
That might be gayer than what Bryden said about having sex with black men.
I can't even argue that one.
Being the president of the Leah Remini fan club.
Dude, I can't even argue that.
That's pretty fucking gay. But, yeah. I can't believe you did that. How long did it take to, what did you do to infiltrate the Leah, this secretive Leah Remini fan club?
It took weeks, and I had help from a couple of, women I was friends with at the time that were, O&A pests.
Oh, God. Okay. So you were using a VPN, and you were on the dark net? I had a lot of time back then. So. Well, time or not, Leah Remini fan club?
Yes.
Of people that have a fan club.
Look,
I guess she was popular at the time.
Someone that someone pissed me off happened to be the president of Leah Remini's fan club. So I thought that the best way to screw her over was to get her to lose her position, and it worked. I was successful.
Did you dox her at the time?
No, I was able to paint this person in a bad light.
To Leah Remini herself?
Yes.
Like, did you like say she's sending pictures of naked children to complaining to Leah Remini?
There were situations like that appalled her, like the fact that she was screwing around with like her daughter's boyfriend, and she was screwing with like a cousin or something at the same time.
What,
and
Leah Remini's daughter's boyfriend?
No. This woman, she at the time she was like a Scientologist, Leah Remini.
Oh, okay.
So this degenerate behavior was very appalling to her, and Leah Remini booted her from the group.
Do you think we could get Leah Remini on the show, or absolutely not?
When she found out that my true motives, I was blocked.
Yeah, so you have been denied access from Leah Remini forever.
I was blocked by many. Well, I wouldn't say many. Like 3 or 4. 1980s and 1990s sitcom stars. The guy from Charles in Charge blocked me. Leah Remini ended up blocking me. Kirstie Alley blocked me, and the guy that plays Bud Bundy blocked me.
David Faustino?
Yes.
Do you know he was a rapper?
That's why he blocked me.
Because you made fun of his rap music?
Yes.
Do you think it's possible we could pull up a little bit of Bud Bundy rapping?
I haven't. You think it's still on?
It might be on YouTube. I can't believe.
I remember him wearing like his L.A. Raiders hat. And
I think L.A. Raiders. It was
I found it.
Is it there?
It's there.
All right, pull it up.
And when it comes to kitty cats, I gotta have the Jimmy hat. You go on and say every
He's wearing black jeans, a black hoodie, a Raiders hat, and he's walking around with looks like a bunch of Spanish guys.
That's his posse.
I told you, he said.
David Faustino has a posse.
The younger folks even know who the hell he is.
No! I would say 95% of our listeners have no idea who David Faustino is. They might kind of know Bud Bundy because, Married with Children and Katie Seagal, but they don't. I don't think they know. This is so inside and old people talk.
I'm sorry I friggin' kicked this whole conversation off track.
It's hilarious! This is hilarious that we were able to go from... Well, it's not hilarious. A terrible, tragic incident in Dallas to a Bud Bundy rap video. We're doing it again, Sal. It's episode 4 all over again.
That's fine.
It's episode 4 all over again. I got no sleep because I was on the live stream with Ralph when the Dallas shooting was going down. We did about 3 hours live. It was a bunch of us. Hold on, let me pull up. I put the article on New Media Central who we were on the stream with. But it started off with me, Ralph, his girlfriend Nora, who she's awesome. She's funny too. I'm trying now. My computer is farting. It was me, Ralph, Nora, feminine. Who else? I can't even
Feminist
think.
Flow.
Yeah. Yep. Feminist Flow. It was...
Bryden was in there for a little bit.
Well, Bryden was in the chat.
Okay.
A few people, that a lot, some common names that probably listen to the show know, like Pizza Party Ben was in the chat, Margaret, was in the chat, but as far as on the show, dude, can you pull up New Media Central, that article, because my computer is not cooperating right now.
Yeah, let me pull it up. So you were on live while everything was going down, and now while we're on, the result of, it hasn't stopped. It spread to Baton Rouge. It spread to Atlanta. It's spreading to New York.
Right.
It's a mess.
It's a zombie outbreak of Black Lives Matter protesters.
So you were joined with with Nora, Seattle for Truth, Feminist Flow, Liberal Lunacy.
Yep.
Good
I
group of people.
think Feminist Flow and Liberal Lunacy are dating. Believe it or not.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Ralph, I guess, met his girlfriend, and now Feminist Flow through all this. I mean, creating lives, Sal. That's what the internet does.
I met my wife before the internet was that big.
I met my wife through MySpace.
I don't even think MySpace was around yet. It was probably like AOL chats.
You were in chat rooms punting people. Remember punters?
Tell
me you remember what a punter is.
I don't remember what a punter is.
Okay, so you would go into the AOL chat, and essentially, I was so young. I was on like my 33.6K modem or whatever the fuck it was, and you would just put in all this script to the point where it basically shut down the chat and booted people out.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
And you could do different macros of like penises and Steve Case, the then president of AOL, like sucking cock and stuff. Yeah, it's very. I'm like, my brother's 13. I'm like 15 in there, going, I'm going to kick you out of this chat room.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know what that sound is right there.
I think that's what our show's connected to.
A lot of other podcasts sound like that from what I've seen recently, but I'm not naming any names.
Dude, I'm new at this. You've been doing it for a while. Some of these shows sound like complete shit. I'm sorry. They sound like shit. I mean, I'm not saying we sound fucking fantastic. Far from it. I'm not using the greatest of microphones. My microphone didn't cost a lot. But you would... I don't know. Like, I understand if you're doing, like, a YouTube, you're in front of a camera, you're just talking, blah, blah, blah. But if you're doing a pre-recorded show, multiple times a week for over 5 years, you might want to up your game a little.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we've been doing this is, episode 8, so. Again, not trying to sound like a braggart, but I'm bragging. I mean, at New Media Central, we have a fucking kick-ass team. Being aligned with the whole Ralph Retort crew is fucking awesome. Our own little crew is awesome with Bryden and Sebastian, me, you, Wody. I mean, we got a good thing going. So
I agree, man. I agree. I'm very happy.
Yeah, and in 2 months, the website's been up since June 7th or 6th or something like that. The show's only been around for 2 months, and we have a staff of writers. We have podcasts. We got obviously Nick Martinez and Gevers the World. I mean, we're doing stuff here, and we're looking at expanding into Europe. We were just talking before about somebody writing about Italian politics. I mean,
man, a relative, a Guinea from my family.
Yeah, a fellow Guinea.
I mean, I've been doing podcasting since late 2006, and I've been writing since late 2007, and on various sites. And I started my blog in I'd say 2012, and I've been writing here and there on the same site. And then we just had a conversation one day, and boom, this came about 2 weeks later.
Yeah, well, that you can thank my mania for that. I get when I get attached to something and want to get something fucking done. Guess what? It's gonna get fucking done.
I had my blog for a little while. It was called Liberty by Logic, libertybylogic.com. I think that's gonna be dead soon. But that actually the name, the person that helped me with that name was Sean, my friend Sean, who still has guest writing spots on the website. So thanks to him, and I kept that alive because of him. And you come along and you friggin' with your ADD and your fucking never sleeping.
Yeah, it's honestly you know by the text messages you wake up to and all the alerts and the emails that I send you, I'm doing this almost around the clock.
Dude, it's we've done stuff here and you've done stuff here in friggin' 8 weeks that I've been trying to do for 4 years.
There you go. You just needed a freaking bipolar maniac to help you out.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
that's all you're looking for. I need a fucking psychopath. Ian, let me call him. We used to hang out together. He was a fucking psychopath. But yeah, so we're growing. Things are all looking up and up. I think we're gonna hit our website goal hits, and we're making alliances. We don't have any radio wars, do we? Are we in a radio war with anybody?
No, I've retired from that. I did that for like 5 years straight.
Yeah. Fuck Dave Anthony of Mark Maron. Let's get that rolling. Can we get that soundbite? Tweet it to him. I don't think he has a Twitter. Last time we checked a few episodes ago, I think it was episode 4. Dude, this is episode 4 all over again. It's a nightmare.
So we're gonna relive this again in episode 12.
Yeah, I guess it's every month. My mood swings, as they say. But yeah, let me pull this fucking shit show back together. A tragedy happened, Sal, and you're laughing.
A tragedy
It's not funny,
happened.
Sal. It's not funny. How dare you? No, I'm joking.
You sound like Bernie Sanders. And
How dare you? I'm reprimanding you, and I'm disavowing.
all right, I'll be suspended for the rest of the show.
Yeah, that's it. Mute your mic. It's just going to be me yelling like Alex Jones for the next hour. I'm sure the audience would love that.
All right, so we have the 2 shootings.
Right.
Let's get back on track.
Yeah. Stop bragging, Sal.
About the 2 shootings? Come on.
Yeah, stop bragging about those 2 shootings. No, about the website. Yeah. Good job killing those black people, Sal.
Jesus.
Little do they know it was you. It was an Italian guy from Jersey. And in the background, that song was playing. Dun, 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 dun. You need to get that. So every time we talk about Italian stuff, you can play it.
How would I get that typical Italian what?
I don't know what it is. It's like an Italian typical song.
I don't know. What would I call that?
Italian dun-da-da music. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called. It's like it's not going to come up. I don't know what it is.
What are we doing?
We're looking for Italian songs right now. What is that song called? No, that song has to have a name. What is that? What?
I don't know. Let me turn this ad down while I play this. I'm trying to find this on YouTube. Meanwhile, we're setting up our friggin' guest coming up.
Yeah, there it is. This is the music you and your family kill people to.
Now you need to make up your mind. First I'm a Guido killer, but earlier today I saw you wrote in the chat that I was a wigger.
Well, that was in middle school for like 6 months. I remember that.
I don't remember wanting to be black. I guess I dressed a little bit.
You wore a FUBU shirt once.
No.
No, I'm joking.
Holy shit, no I did not. I like this.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So if we ever have your cousin on, and with her broken English, we could play this for her.
Oh, she'll
feel she'll feel at home.
Oh, she'll kick my ass. She'll be so pissed.
Hey, my mama meatballs. Sal, does your mom make the best meatballs?
Yes, she did.
Every Italian's mama makes the best of meatballs.
I have to say yes.
Does she really? Like, honest to God, your mom makes it's not just because she's your mom. They're the fucking best meatballs.
It's one of my parents make them. I don't know which one, but yeah, they do. What
What about what is it called? Bolognese?
I don't even know what that is.
It's a sauce, bolognese. It has like carrots in it or something. I don't fucking know.
I don't know what you're getting at.
We just went from dead cops to this nonsense. You're a fucking mess, Sal. This is all your fault.
We're supposed to have someone on in a little bit.
Who? Who we have it on?
Your boy.
Which one?
Your boy, Pat.
Oh, Pat. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that. Listen again, and we're gonna say that. I'm gonna say this at the end of the show. Feminist Flow has been awesome. He set up last week's guest with Jen, who's the ex-Mormon, ex-Muslim. He set up this with Pat. So, round of applause. Do we have a clapping sound for Feminist Flow?
No.
Oh, come on. I'm going to plug him at the end of the show, but, again, thanks, Feminist Flow, at Feminist Period on Twitter, YouTube Feminist Flow. Also, he's mirroring our show. Right now, I think the last episode on his site, so.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's, I guess, helping us out for some reason. I don't know why. We're pieces of trash. Well, I am. No, I'm not. We're good family guys. What do you think, Sal?
I think we are.
I mean, like, what did you do for 4th of July weekend, if you don't mind getting into that a little bit?
You know what I did?
I know what you did, but that's called the setup, Sal.
Because I'm waiting to hear what jokes you have to say.
Go. Did you come back from your vacation a lesbian Wiccan with 9 cats? Named Salem?
We went up to... I swear to God, I used to have a cat named Salem.
Of course you did.
But, yeah, we drove up to Massachusetts. My wife and I liked that area, and we went up there for the 4th of July. They had an awesome fireworks show, and I had fun.
Was the fireworks show, were they burning witches? Was that part of it?
Yeah.
They're lighting feminist lesbians on fire. That sounds awesome.
That would be cool.
I want to go to Salem and light lesbian feminists on fire. This is what we do in Massachusetts.
Jesus, there was Bernie Sanders stickers everywhere. Couldn't get away from it.
Yeah. Well, that's I feel bad for the Bernie people. They were robbed, Sal. I think he should keep going. Keep on fighting, Bernie. Run, Bernie, run, is what I say. That's what I think.
He's going to endorse Hillary within a week.
You think so?
Right before after the Republican convention to take the wind out of their sails.
Yeah. That I think that would be extremely disappointing. Because did he sign a pledge or anything that he would endorse the eventual nominee? Like the other Republicans did who are not endorsing Donald Trump? They're not good for their word. They're not men of their word.
Yeah, like shitty Ted Cruz.
Yeah, I mean they speaking of that, they did have a meeting at the Senate Conservatives Fund, the Heritage Foundation thing. So
yeah, from what I listen to Mark Levin sometimes just to hear what he has to say. He's a smart guy, but
line 2, go.
But he's totally in the tank for all neocons, and warmongers. But he thinks that Donald Trump had this meeting with Ted Cruz because he's scared that Ted Cruz is going to, come out of nowhere and get enough delegates to be unbound from him to cause a brokered convention again.
This is all this Eric Erickson, Ben Sass fucking bullshit. They're a small group of cucks, and they're ineffective, and they're not going to do anything. I'm not even worried about it. And Mark Levin's just trying to pump up a movement like the Renegade Party with Bill Kristol of like 3 people. It's not going to do anything. I'm not worried, and Donald Trump shouldn't be worried, and he should just concentrate on Hillary Clinton.
I think so too.
It's a bunch of faggotry. To be quite honest, to put it in simpleton terms, it's faggotry. But so you're a family man. You go on, you do your thing. You watch witches burn with your kids and your wife. I went to this really awesome 4th of July party in my town. There was they rented one of those huge blow up water slides, and my kids were going crazy. We were talking in the back, and And it was fun. And it was cool. The guy, the party, he's a conservative guy. He's a Republican. I met him actually helping out my town's mayor run for mayor. So that was
nice.
That was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah, saw some fireworks, had fun. We're family guys now. We're not degenerates like the rest of these fuckers.
No.
We actually are procreating and making white children when all these fuckers are just talk. They want to save the white race? Well, where are your fucking kids, assholes? That's what I say. Yeah, I got pictures of white kids. Fuck you. No. I mean,
this is a great segue into Pat.
Oh yeah, great, yeah. No, but no, seriously. Okay, so we're gonna get on the phone. I think he'll be on the phone now. We have him calling in, so let's get him on. With us now on the phone is Pat, better known as Your Boy Pat on YouTube. He speaks about radical feminism, SJWs, Black Lives Matter hypocrisy, and how they use terrible and bad examples of certain types of people as an excuse to damn and demonize the entirety of it. So, Pat, how you doing today?
I'm great. How you doing?
We're doing awesome. Also, you can find him on YouTube at Your Boy Pat, Twitter at Your Boy Pat 47. So, Pat, let's just jump right into this. You live in Texas, correct?
Yes, I do. Texarkana.
So, how far is that from Dallas?
That's 2.5 hours away, like 180 miles.
Okay.
Basically, a hop, skip, and a jump away.
So it's not that far. Now you live in Texarkana. How is that affecting your community with the shooting of the police officers in Dallas?
It's affecting a lot of people. You know, it's like a lot of the race that I hang out with. Basically, you know, it's like a lot of people seeing this as a terrible act, especially with police. You know, like cause these police, like, you know, they were just out there, you know, doing their job. Most of them mostly protecting, you know, the Black Lives Matter members before this crazy thing happened. And, you know, they just lost their lives for no particular reason, all because, you know, of what happened, you know, in Baton Rouge and in Minnesota. So they want to go crazy. But most of my neighborhood is basically like, you know, this is like a terrible act that, you know, innocent people lost their lives. Were sitting up here, you know, praising and things like that. Like, that's what the cops get. Yeah, they took black people's lives, so we're going to take their lives. This eye for an eye thing, and that's why I'm like, really? Like, right. Seriously? You're going to take that method right there. All this senseless killing that's been going on with Black Lives Matter and the police department, and innocent people are getting caught up in the crossfire.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's been one of those half and half, like, you know, half people on the Black Lives Matter side, half people on the police side, but, you know, nobody's looking at that in between and thinking like, man, this fighting needs to stop.
Right. Yeah, we're all Americans, we're all humans, we're all trying to live, raise families, and do our jobs, and it's just creating more division. And honestly, I'm not a huge conspiracy guy, but I think that's what the elites and the establishment and the government want, is more divisiveness between whites, between African Americans, between Latinos, between Asians. They love this shit. They're the ones laughing at us right now as you know, we're fighting on the street. You know.
Exactly. Like, you know, it's like the more chaos they can create and things like that, the more they can come in and be like super government, and it's like, oh, we can fix this problem right here and everything. You put the trust in us, and that's where Black Lives Matter really made their mistake right there. You know, trusting in the government. Like, right. Oh my God, like that's the last person you actually want to be in bed with, because it's like, you know, once the government like gets up in you, ugh.
Yeah. Well, the government has been responsible for so many things that have gone wrong within the African American community, and from my perspective, why would you want more of that? That doesn't make sense to me. I'm white. I just don't. I can't comprehend it. Where's the logic there? Do you understand where they're coming from about that, or you don't get it either?
I really don't get it. It's like when Black Lives Matter first started, and they was talking about, like the police brutality that goes on, which is true. You do have some crooked officials out there, but it's like when you use like certain bad apples to like damn and demonize the whole entire police department, then that's just wrong, because some of those cops out there are actually doing what they swore to protect and to serve. Yes, you do have bad apples out there, but don't sit up here and chop down a whole entire tree just because, that cop was bad or that cop was bad, What about the rest of the entire police force who's out there, protecting you from the rest of this crime out there and everything? But you want to, Black Lives Matter want to sit up here and take those bad examples and sit right here like, see, they're against us, all this right here and everything, want to just have have those bad excuses to basically, like, push their narrative, push their agenda, and like to keep themselves. They're trying to use that as an excuse to like simply, push what they want to push and like exempt them from the responsibility and hide from the other things that be happening up in the community. Like there's a whole lot of black on black crime that goes on that they will never mention.
Right. Yeah. What is it?
I see it around here.
How many gun deaths are there right now in the black community? I mean,
oh man.
In comparison to police shootings, I think less than 1% of blacks are killed by cop. Less than 1%, and the rest is either black on black crime or standard crime, and no one talks about that. They talk about that less than 1% number.
Not one bit. They will not talk about it. They'll call it a myth, like, oh, that never happens and things like that. But when cops are always shooting us all the time, things like that. I'm like, yeah. How many times do you see it? I know it happens, but how many times do you really see it compared to every day? When you do turn on the news or you turn on a lot of these events right here and everything, and that's exactly what you hear. Black on black crime. Mm-hmm. But you will never hear, Black Lives Matter members, say anything about that or protest about that or even mention that.
Right. And it seems to me that from the stats that I've read that white people, they get shot too by police. I mean, this isn't just, black people just getting shot by police, but white people get shot by police. Sometimes Asian people get shot by police. Latinos get shot by police. So this isn't just exclusive to the African American community. Go ahead, Sal.
I have the statistics right in front of me from the Washington Post. All police shootings, 50% white, 26% black.
So it's they're shooting mostly white people.
I mean, there is a difference, in the demographics. How many,
right.
But the stats are right there.
Yeah, well, African Americans make up about 13% of the population, so that's double, as far as that's concerned, that population percentage. But still, it's like I said, everyone's getting shot. So it should be, in my opinion, more of a police reform or how the police are trained or treated or how they go about things versus, we need to raise money for my charity, for my coalition, Jesse Jackson. So let's go out and just protest this young black man's death. That's what seems to be happening to me.
I hate it especially when politics, like Jesse Jackson or Reverend Al Sharpton get in the mix of that right there, because right then and there, this is all about something that's going to benefit them. It's like a gold mine to them. It's like they're quickly drawn to things like this because they know they can make money off of it, or they can further their agenda.
Right. I think Jesse Jackson blamed Trump today for what happened in Dallas already. Like, he was on it, even though Trump had absolutely nothing to do with any of it.
Trump's a sniper. You didn't know that?
Yeah, he was on the grassy knoll in Dallas. But yeah, I'm pulling up the article. Jesse Jackson blames Trump for Black Lives Matter attack on cops. I'm trying to find the exact quote, but it's on InfoWars, so if you can find it, it's on InfoWars. Jesse Jackson's already out there trying to raise money, apparently.
Oh, my God.
So, Pat, I'm going to ask some personal questions, so talk about your story. Now, has it been difficult to be against Black Lives Matter and other more traditionally African-American positions, and how has that affected, the reactions and relationships with friends and family members?
Well, like I said, a lot of friends and family members, when they found out what I talk about and things like that, they ask me like, why do I do this right here and everything? And I tell them the reason why. Now my mom's understanding how, the rest of my family, they be looking at it like, say, oh, so you're not down with black people like this and everything. I'm like, no, I am down with black people, but I'm not finna sit up here, and just because I'm black, exclude them from what they're doing right here when they know that it's wrong, and half of them don't even know the reason why they're doing it. They just want to be relevant, and they just want to be sending out there like with, oh, Black Lives Matter and all this right here and everything, but without thinking about, other people's lives and everything else has been taken. So it's like, that's why, when I sit up here and I make my videos, whether it's talking about feminism or these crazy SJWs or Black Lives Matter and things like that, and how they're, just sitting right here using every excuse in the book to try to further and push their agenda. Right. And with the Black Lives Matter right here, it's like, at first it's like I was down for it, but then I started seeing everything that they were doing with bullying their way on people's platforms to taking over, especially what they did up there in Canada not too long ago with the LGBT. Mm-hmm. Like I say, taking the parade hostages and extorting them, telling them like, oh, we don't, you want the parade go on, take all the police floats out and things like that, and pay your black performers more and things, all that right there. Then from the LGBT mural, they also, bullied their way on that platform, didn't have anything to do with them, all the way to what happened in Missouri after their Orlando shooting. They were holding a vigil, and this one Black Lives Matter member just sit up there, hijacked it, use it as an excuse to basically try to further the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, this is a vigil right here talking about all the people who died. It's the same way of right here, they were holding a vigil in order to remember these people, and you're going to come on here and try to make it all about Black Lives Matter. I just noticed right then and there that these people have become nothing but narcissistic bullies with all this power that they've gained over these years, ever since they've been founded in 2013. And I'm like, as time went by, they just got powerful, and with that power, they just got basically big head with, and they just started throwing their weight. And they're thinking all because, politics and all this news coverage has been on their side lately, that they can just do whatever they want. And anytime they can lash out, and anytime, there's any retaliation or anything that happens to them, they can just, oh my God, racism, Black Lives Matter, this is always happening to black people and things like that. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, do you not see, you keep pushing and pushing and pushing towards people and things like that. Then when they finally push back, you want to play the victim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it just seems that, it reached a fever pitch, obviously yesterday. We had in 2014, a radical shoot, two officers in the NYPD, officers Lou and Ramos, and then then he killed himself. But he basically espoused the same beliefs as the Dallas shooter, and it was influenced by different Black Lives Matters material. I'm not saying that all Black Lives Matter people are going out shooting police, but all the people that are making political points shooting police happen to be associated or affiliated with Black Lives Matter. Sadly.
I say, yeah, like I'm saying, that's what it is. Like, you have a lot of evil people out there, and they want to do these evil deeds. They just need that one excuse. And it's like, when people like Black Lives Matter do the things that they do, they're just like, oh yeah, there we go right there. I can finally do my evil deed, and I can use Black Lives Matter as an excuse. Kind of like how Omar did with the Orlando shoot. He used ISIS as an excuse. He called 911, pledged his loyalty to ISIS, went on that shooting spree. That's kind of like what this guy did right here in Dallas. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and right now, my friend Ralph, I was on his live stream last night while the news was breaking at the RalphRetort.com. He just had an exclusive. Apparently, a man claims the Dallas shooter was a Black Lives Matter member who attended a Donald Trump protest in Denver last week. So, I mean, the connection is there. The media is trying to spin it. They're trying to, do their narrative. Oh, this has nothing to do with this organization. He was just crazy. He was just, it is what it is. He was part of it. I mean, let's not try to cover up the truth, folks, just for your narrative.
Exactly.
I mean, that's disingenuous, and that's why people are just pissed off at the media at this point because they keep doing this shit. They tried it with the Orlando shooter. They tried to say, "Oh, he was a closet homosexual. That's why he did it." It had nothing to do with ISIS and Islam. It fucking did. Yeah, it pretty much had everything to do with that.
Exactly, because I'm saying, the media will definitely do that. It's like if they're trying to push a narrative, they will definitely do their best. Like, especially when they see right there, all the evidence, everything points to that certain thing that you're trying to protect, and you'll find some way to spin it like, it ain't about them. This person was crazy. This person was a closet homosexual, and like, like this person was this and that and everything. It had totally nothing to do with, this type of movement right here and everything. And they expect everybody to be like, okay, we'll just take that right there. Like, no, we know what this is all about. We're not stupid.
Right, yeah, this wasn't workplace violence. That was the one that I think Obama used. And that's another thing that's pissing me off is ever since, if you guys remember about 7 years ago, the beer summit with that one officer
that
who...
was Massachusetts.
What was that, in Massachusetts?
Yeah, Cambridge, right?
Yeah, in Cambridge, where that one white cop pulled over a black professor, and the black professor complained to, his friends in D.C., and, Obama got involved, and then he had a beer summit with the guy. I mean, it just seems like ever since then, race relations have deteriorated. I mean, I'm old enough to remember the 93 Trade Center bombing, Timothy McVeigh, Columbine. Race was really, from what I remember, not the main issue. Now when something happens like Orlando or Dallas, you look at Twitter, people going, I hope he's white, I hope he's black, I hope he's Muslim, I hope he's not Muslim, I hope he's Christian. That's the first fucking thing they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
It's not, holy shit, a human committed a tragedy. It's, how can I spin this for my political expediency? It's insane. This wasn't happening 20 years ago.
Thank you. I have been seeing that a lot too. It's like every time something terrible happens right there and everything. It's like somebody always sitting up there. I'm saying, and you trying to use it to push their agenda and things like that. It's like feminists. If they ever see a mass shooting and things like that, if it's a guy, especially if it's a white guy, toxic masculinity and all this right here and everything, and like Black Lives Matter get onto it and stuff like that. See, white people are crazy. Oh, they're trying to kill us all and all this right here and everything. But they will never say anything about like when Black Lives Matter, when black people kill black people, when black people hurt black people and things like that. They will never say anything. I mean, not once will they ever mention. I'm saying any crimes that involve black on black. You will never hear them not once. And I actually emailed them. A murder that happened not too long ago. It was a guy. Like I said, I forget his name right here, but they were at a barbecue. The guy killed 5 people. One was pregnant. I sent that to them and asked them, can you speak on this right here? Kind of like how Mercedes Ferrer did with Anita Sarkeesian when Cytherea got raped, and it was kind of like the same thing. I heard nothing. It's like they wouldn't respond, they wouldn't reply, or nothing like that and everything, because they're too busy trying to sit up here and trying to blame white people and trying to blame white cops, talking about, they're the takers of black lives and everything and stuff like that. Like, black on black crime doesn't exist. Like, no.
Right. Yeah. All I did right now, because I live kind of close to Newark. Like, I'm not close. I'm about a half an hour away outside of Newark, New Jersey. And I just Googled Newark shootings. The first article that popped up was Newark shootings leave 3 dead, 1 wounded in less than 24 hours. And the names, I mean, they're traditional, in my opinion, African-American names. DeAndre was one of the victims. So, I mean, there's black on black violence happening constantly. This was just randomly Googling, and you're not going to hear anything from the race hucksters about this.
No, like I said, and you especially won't hear nothing from big time media.
Right.
Yeah. CNN won't talk about it.
Yeah, this was on NJ.com, so that this is the most coverage it's going to get, and I'm probably one of only 5 people to actually look at that article. To be quite honest with you, because nobody cares about black on black crime, sadly.
No.
I know, because they're too busy, I'm saying, being hugged on to basically what's been thrown in their face right now, especially on mainstream media. And what does mainstream media basically throw up in your face? Like I said, like black on, like Black Lives Matter, like I said, white cop kills black person. And it's like that's always being thrown in our face. But it's like, in order for us to basically see the real story, it's like how you said, we have to go and look at the small articles, the articles, like I said, that are on the internet that never get that much publicity, and that's where you really find, the true stories and things like that. Because mainstream media, I'm saying, they're just corrupted. They're going to do everything they can to push a narrative, to push an agenda and things like that. It's like that's one of the main reasons why I really can't trust, mainstream media, because I know they will spread lies quicker than anything.
Well, it goes back to what you said earlier about I think you called it a super government. Black Lives Matter they're gonna be sorry down the road when when their anti-police agenda becomes the reason why the government takes over the police, and then we have martial law.
Right.
And then they're really going to have a problem with the police. Because
I've been seeing a lot of pushing for this totalitarian culture and things like that. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like they're looking over here like in the Middle East, and they're seeing how they got people, in check, so they're kind of trying to bring that to America. I'm like, come on now, this is America. For 240 years, we have been free, the land of the free and the home of the brave, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom of all this right here, and you're trying to take that away just to, keep people in check. Like, government, I don't know. I feel like they got a plan, and they sit up here and they use certain people to put this plan in action. And Black Lives Matter, unfortunately, is one of those groups right there. And like how you said, it's going to be one of those things that on down the road, they're going to be like, oh my God, what the hell did we do?
Well, the shooter had a Facebook page, and it was archived, and I went to it. He was part of the Mississippi Black Panthers Facebook group. Yeah. I mean, and he was part of all these different, radical, I guess you can say, organizations. And what I'm seeing, and he was also a part of, atheist groups. So I'm not saying atheists are responsible, but, he's all part of these different organizations that we see him on his Facebook group that seem to be antithetical to the American experience. So if America was built on Western philosophies and Christian values and Christian philosophies, and I've said it on other episodes, Jesus said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, unto God is to God, and that's what, a lot of founding fathers used as the basis for, separation of church and state, free the slaves and some of the New Testament, a lot of the New Testament. It goes on and on. That's our foundation. And it seems like there's this movement, mainly by globalists, George Soros, and just the name drop, to undermine all those values and replace it with something really shitty.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. So here, Pat, I just want to get again more about you. What's going on? As far as your beliefs, anecdotal evidence, experiences that you have, who's giving you the biggest problem?
I said the one that's giving me the biggest problem, basically, right now, it's it's mostly been, a lot of Black Lives Matter. I've had a few feminists here and there, but feminists are kind of they're kind of too afraid to confront me and things like that because, I'm black, so, they don't want to, appear racist and things like that. They're so PC, I really want to say something to him, but he's black, so it's I don't want to appear to be racist, so I'm just going to kind of hold back. But yet, right. Black Lives Matter, it's when I first made my first Black Lives Matter video, basically going up against Gazi Kodzo, which, by the way, who has to be the most racist person I've ever seen. Oh my God! It's when I made that video, including him and the rest of Black Lives Matter right there, I got a message, man. Oh my God! It's all right, can I say?
You can curse. It doesn't matter.
Those right here, can I? Because there are certain words up in here. I'm like, are they all right to say?
Go ahead.
You can say whatever you want.
Yep.
All right, man. It's I got called house nigga. I got called Uncle Tom. I got called sell out to the white man. You name it, they said it right there and everything. And I just looked up there. I just looked at this message right here, and I just laughed. After that, that's when I made my next video. I'm like, that all y'all got? I'm saying, because no matter what, it's they just got mad basically because I was a black person calling out Black Lives Matter hypocrisy, and they didn't like that because they're trying to push this agenda, and when you're a black person and you're speaking out against this right here and everything, it's kind of like how, that one Black Lives Matter did, that little 60-year-old Trump
We had him on the show last week, yeah.
Yeah, talking about, oh, you are a disgrace to the black community. No, I'm not a disgrace to the black community. I'm just a disgrace to your version of what the black community is. And if that's the case and things like that, I will be glad to say I'm glad to be a disgrace, because I don't want to be a part of that community right there. That's pushing for this, you know what I'm saying, this agenda, this totalitarian and all this crazy stuff that Black Lives Matter has been doing lately. And if there are some good members of Black Lives Matter, they need to start doing the same thing like I'm doing, calling them out on this crazy hypocrisy stuff that the rest of them are doing. They see this bullshit that's going on, but yet they won't say anything.
Right. Yeah. No, and like I said before, we had Quay on. His name's Quay Manuel. We had him on last week. I've talked to him on and off on Twitter recently. He's a really good kid. I mean, awesome kid. He stood up for his beliefs. Yeah. He was 16 years old and way smarter than that guy.
Oh, go ahead. Excuse
me. No, you can go.
Yeah, but that's what I liked about him. He stood up for his beliefs. He was an individual. He didn't have this hive mind mentality, kind of like how he did, and I'm saying how Black Lives Matter does. He spoke his mind. He just basically, he looked at facts. He looks at logics, and he saw, he believes that Trump can actually lead this country to actually a great thing compared to Hillary, who sits up here and basically panders to the loudest audience and to the minority audience and things like that, thinking that, if I pander to these people, then they're just going to come, they're going to vote for me, they're going to put me in power and things like that, not knowing that I have this, hidden agenda to, put them down, take them over and things like that. That's one of the main reasons why I don't like Hillary Clinton. I won't be voting for her and things like that. I've said it. I don't care who is and things like that. If Black Lives Matter and the feminists, they want to come at me, they know how to get in contact with me. I don't run away from anything. I especially don't run away from opinions.
Right.
But it's like I liked him because he spoke his mind. He stood his ground. He was an individual. He didn't have this high mind mentality. And then what happened? He started getting all these death threats and all these crazy Twitter messages and things like that from all these crazy Black Lives Matter members and all these crazy people. Just because they didn't like what he said, they didn't like who he supported and things like that. So that goes to show you right there. Who's more crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who's more dangerous? Hey, Sal, do you want to play a preview of Pat's latest YouTube video real quick? Do you have that punched up?
Ready.
Do you want to...
That was the video he made talking about Black Lives Matter.
About the one I sent you just now.
Oh.
Yeah, about the Dallas shooting.
Where did you send it?
Oh, boy. I think to your text message. I thought you cut the audio.
You could. That was the heck was that video?
It was morning rant about Dallas shooting.
Yeah, I have it. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, all right. You want to play a little bit of that so the audience can get a preview of what Pat's about on his YouTube channel?
Yeah, let me make sure. We're having some technical difficulties with the soundboard. We've been having them for like a week.
I think it's time to upgrade a little bit.
Great.
We're trying to be professional broadcasters here, Sal. Come on.
Why don't you talk about our guest from last week too? He's supposed to be contributing for us soon too.
Yeah, he might start writing for newmediacentral.net actually. So be on the lookout. We're not sure. We haven't hammered out all the details, but yeah, he might start contributing to newmediacentral.net, and we're excited to possibly have him on board. So that's pretty cool.
I have like the first 30 seconds of this.
All right, yeah, just pop that on just for a preview. Gonna have to edit out that silence. There we go.
And I got to get this off my chest, but last night in Dallas, during a Black Lives Matter protest, gunfire rained out. 11 police were shot. 5 of them died, according to the stories. They say they have people in custody, but it's just real sad, man. Because the protest was basically over, the Baton Rouge and the Minnesota shooting of 2 black men by cops. Unfortunately, those cops are white. So, hey, Black Lives Matter had to turn it into a race thing. But see, the problem basically is this all needs to stop.
Yeah, and you go on to say that it needs to stop on all sides.
Yeah, like I said, on police side and the Black Lives Matter side, it's like I can understand, like with the Baton Rouge, I'm saying, with what's his name, like what Alton?
Yeah, Sterling.
Mm-hmm. Alton Sterling.
I said, and also what I'm saying, what happened in Minnesota right there and everything. It's like, yeah, those are horrible crimes, and my heart goes out to the families, because like I said, I'm saying. The last thing police really need to be doing with their guns, like I said, the gun should be the last option for police right there, Right. It's like they have many more tactics of taking down, suspects and things like that, and if people are resisting and things like that, I can understand. If it becomes a dangerous situation where firearms are drawn and things like that, yes, then that's when you go for the gun. But it's like that should be the last thing that cops should actually be doing, I'm saying, getting trigger happy and things like that, it's like, but I can understand because they've been picked at, they've been pushed at by Black Lives Matter members for so much, and it's like I can understand some of them are jumpy because they have it's actually been like that same way on Black Lives Matter too. It's like they have killed cops, and I'm saying out of retaliation and out of anger because of what has happened basically in the past right there. So it's like they use those deaths as an excuse to come and then shoot cops, and then they think that's supposed to be justified. I'm like, no, it's like, when you fight fire with fire, all you do is create a big giant inferno. And it's like everybody just needs to just stop and just think about what's going on, Police and Black Lives Matter. Everybody needs to come together because this senseless killing needs to stop because too many innocent people are dying. Too many innocent families, are mourning because these two crazy sides right here can't stop what they're doing.
Right. Right. And what's worrying me is now after this incident in Dallas, you were saying how the police were jumpy. They're going to be even more jumpy. So and sadly, I think it's just going to get worse. It's just going to escalate. I hate to say it. I don't want to be a negative
Nancy. I hate that too because not only do I fear for myself and I fear for my family too. I have 3 kids. My daughter is going to be celebrating her 15th birthday on Monday. Now I'm going to start teaching her how to drive so she can start hanging out with her friends and things like that. But it's like the last thing I actually want is for them to like experience this kind of danger right here, of worrying about if police are going to, like do this and that to them and things like that because they're black, which I seriously doubt because, where we live at, I'm saying, it rarely happens.
Right.
Well, I have, in my 38 years, I have never seen, crooked officials or nothing like that. I know they're around, but I have yet to see them. But now, it's like, my 3 kids, they're growing up and they have to grow up in this world. My son also had an encounter not too long ago. I also speak about that in another video where, him and one of his, white friends, they got into it because his friend asked him, like a question of, what's the difference between, black people and niggas because they were playing basketball at one time, and he's around, he's only, his friend is the only white person and, the rest of the friends are black. So they're sitting right there calling, like playing basketball. And they're just calling each other the N-bomb, left and right, left and right, left and right. So his friend is just sitting up here asking, like, why do y'all do that? Why do y'all call each other the N-word all the time? But yet, if somebody else of another race says it, then you want to get, you want to get wild, you want to get offended, and you want to get violent. Right. So I had to come out, get off of work, go down there, and explain this to both of them. To like, all right, this is how you go at when things like this happen, So I explained it to him, my son, and I explained it to his friend, exactly what his friend was asking. And once they saw how calm, how cool, how collected I was, they finally, they squashed what happened earlier. Like, they gave their apologies, they said they were sorry, and hopefully that's a lesson that, they can take and they can pass on to the next generation and hopefully build these race relations back up. Instead of, from what everything has been, separated and divided right now. And it's like things like that is what really needs to happen. Everybody needs to come together and stop, dividing the races and things like that.
Yeah, my one friend, Corey, he's from Paterson, New Jersey. He's a black father, married, has 2 kids. I think he's like 42, 43. He was driving through my town, and my town's mostly white. And he got pulled over because he was just going to White Castle in his like flip flops and sweatpants to get some food. He got pulled over and he forgot his license. So he goes, "Officer, listen, I'm sorry, I forgot my license. I have it on my phone, but I have a picture of it for something. Can I just show you that?" The cop looks at it, runs, his name. He goes, "Listen, next time have your license, but have a nice day." And Corey's like, according to these stories, he should have been shot, according to Black Lives Matter, he should have been shot. But that didn't happen. And technically he broke the law. He was driving without his license, and they didn't bother him, and they let him go.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, it's the only time that I've seen and witnessed my own eyes cops being, supposed racist was when I was a kid, and we were like on my street. I lived on a dead end street by the beach, and it was like 5 white kids, me, and my one of my black friends. And the cops came, and guess who they harassed?
The black.
Yeah, but I've been around for 35 years. I've hung out with a lot of black people. That was the only time, and that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
and
this is New Jersey.
It's very rare compared to how Black Lives Matter sits up here and puts it, But a lot of these times where I've actually seen, like with some of these events, it's like the cops are sitting right here. It's like everything will start peaceful, but then the black person will start, get mouthy and start resisting and things like that and trying to fight the police. And that's when things like escalate into violence. It's like, come on, like, why are you talking back to authority? Why are you resisting arrests and things like that and everything? It's like, stop fighting these cops, who have the authority to take you down, and they are authorized to use deadly force. And I'm saying, it's like, but you let your pride get the best of you, and you lose your life behind what?
Yeah, now your kids have no father. Great job.
Yeah. Because, they let that stubborn pride get to their head. That's all you tell them, stop resisting and stop undermining authority.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's terrible. So, Pat, we have to wrap up. Dude, it's been awesome having you on, just finding you through Feminist Flow. So I want to thank him for introducing us to you. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like Feminist Flow. He's one of the reasons why my channel has kind of got the recognition that it is right now, because I was really a small channel. He was the same way. He saw one of my videos, he promoted it, and then everybody just started coming to me. They're slowly coming to me, but it's like little by little. It just makes me speak my mind more and just get all this out there, because I know, people listen to opinions, and they listen to opinions a lot, and that's one of the things that we mainly need to do out there. Stop having this hive mind mentality of thinking that we're supposed to be doing what the government and the media is putting out there, but everybody's an individual. We need to think for ourselves, and when we see things are wrong, we need to put it out there and let them know this is wrong, and we're not going to stand for it.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, we're just, like I said, going to wrap up. We're talking to Pat. His YouTube is Your Boy Pat. You just YouTube search Your Boy Pat. It pops right up. His Twitter is at YourBoyPat47. So say hi to him if you want to talk to him. And Pat, listen, man, it's been awesome having you on. It was really good talking about this, especially after what happened last night. And Pat, we're gonna hang up. So can you stay on the line?
Good evening, everyone. Across Chicago and the country tonight, horror and heartbreak following those deadly sniper ambushes in Dallas.
5 police officers killed as they watched over a peaceful protest.
Here's the latest right now. The suspected sniper killed by Dallas police last night, identified as Micah Johnson. He was an Army Reserve veteran, and tonight, authorities say that he did act alone. Texas Governor Greg Abbott spoke a short time ago, calling Johnson a coward and an assassin. The governor told police that they have the respect of a grateful state.
Running toward danger to aid those who need it the most, fulfilling their oath to serve and protect and do everything they can to help the citizens of this city.
Yeah, so that was the Texas governor, and we just got done, speaking with somebody from Texas.
Yep. Yeah. So, obviously we've been talking about it here and there, the tragedy that happened, and, Yeah, kind of, real talk here, Sal. Words can't describe, because these police officers, these cops, they had lives, they had families, they had friends, they had loved ones, just like anyone else that would be killed. And I want to run down through some of them, kind of who they were. So the first officer I want to mention here is, if I can pull up my article. Yeah, see, he's doing it again. Sal, do you have it?
I'm trying to find this article. Shit.
All right, one was a police trainer in Iraq and Afghanistan. It was Brent Thompson. Thompson, he was 43 years old. He was a 7-year vet of the transit force. He just got married within the last 2 weeks, actually.
Shit, that sucks.
His spouse was a transit officer. Yeah, so he was just recently married. So condolences to his spouse and, his family. And, he served his country. Apparently that's what he wanted to do. He was the team leader and lead mentor in the Southern Provincial Police Chief in Afghanistan. Like, this guy was a real dude, man.
Yeah, and the next guy was also a vet.
Who, Patrick?
Yep, Patrick Zamaripa, U.S. Navy veteran. He was in Bahrain as part of the Iraq War effort.
Okay, yeah, he was
well.
father of two.
Yep.
Fucking tragic.
Fucking nuts.
2 kids that have no dad now because of this bullshit. And then the third officer, Michael Kroll, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it says his lifelong dream was actually to become a police officer. His uncle, told the local police station there this is what he wanted to do. He worked for the Wayne County Sheriff's Office from 03 to 07, and then, obviously eventually for the Dallas PD. And he gave his life, doing what he wanted to do his entire life, apparently. The next tragic death is Lauren Ahrens. Is that how you say it?
Lauren Ahrens?
Yeah, Ahrens. Yeah. He was in the sheriff's department, and this is hard for me to read this stuff, to be honest with you.
He was
You go ahead.
He was part of the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department for a while. He let's see. Yeah, he was this nuts. Then the next guy, Michael Smith, another officer. He joined the department in 1989. Shit. What else do we have here?
Yeah, I think that's all. That's the 5 officers. So, just if you're a person of faith, pray for the families, pray for the children that they left behind, pray for their loved ones. If not a religious person, pray anyway. I mean, what it couldn't hurt. If you don't believe in it anyway, just who cares then at that point, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's going to be a victims fund set up. Hopefully sometime soon. Sal, I
think I saw one already. I will get it.
Okay, yeah. So we'll put that on the website, the Victims Fund. We'll try to vet it the best we can, because you're well aware, obviously, because of with the victim funds fraud that happened in 9/11. Yeah. Because
that was a friggin' weird. That was a crazy process, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get the Victims Fund up on the website once the show comes out soon. But yeah, it's just terrible, evil, pure evil. And I believe I was reading that since yesterday, there's been several more cops being shot at in the South, and it's isolated in the South. Like I think Tennessee, Georgia, a couple other places, from what I understand.
crazy.
I don't know if it's related to Black Lives Matter movement, but
I have the relief fund for them. It's called the Unite Dallas Relief Fund.
Okay.
It's from the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas. I found this in the DallasNews.com.
Okay, so that's the one that you can give to and help them out, because these families now, they lost their sources of income because they were all men, and these families depended on these guys to support them, emotionally and financially. So I mean it's all the money in the world doesn't matter, but it eases the burden just that much. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, so it's just I can't you know me with cops and military stuff. Mm-hmm. I get freaking weird with it. But I just they don't and they didn't stop. I mentioned it before. They don't fucking stop. 5 cops are dead because of a Black Lives Matter related incident. I don't care if he wasn't in with Sean King, and hanging out with him every day. He was associated with the fucking movement, and they have the fucking audacity to have these protests, or let's fucking call it what it is, riots in Atlanta and other big cities across the country. They're fucking pieces of shit. They're a fucking domestic terrorist organization, and when Donald Trump comes in to office, they gotta go back. That's all I'm gonna say. They done. Shut them down. Shut every Black Lives Matter office down. Shut them all fucking down. Enough. Because it's like I said, it's just gonna escalate. The Black Lives Matter and these people that pretend or not pretend to feel oppressed, that legitimately feel oppressed because they're told to feel oppressed. They're jumpy. The cops are jumpy. So it's just gonna get worse. This summer it's gonna be terrible. At the conventions, it's gonna be bad. They're already planning to be there. They don't fucking stop. This is not accomplishing anything but making people hate them. And then they go, well, see? Look, they hate us, so then they hate the people hating them. It's a fucking cycle. And it's all because of, the higher-ups, George Soros and all these fucking globalists are laughing at the poor whites and the poor blacks killing each other.
They fund this.
Yeah. Well, this George Soros' Black Lives Matter. Media, what was it, Media Matters? Is that .org? Is that, no, not Media Matters. What is it? Is it?
Media Matters is the organization set up that he helped fund.
Yeah.
Its initial purpose when it was first set up was to smear the women that Bill Clinton raped and fondled and assaulted.
Right. So that's nice.
And to start that whole vast right-wing conspiracy line.
Yeah, and then they obviously morphed during the different elections to go against Bush in 2000 and 2004, and then they morphed into the Occupy movement. This is all George Soros, and then the Occupy movement is morphing into this nonsense. So it's all the same shit. You could see that it's one timeline from George Soros starting MoveOn.org and a few other organizations, and I'm sure Billy Ayers is somewhere in there involved, another domestic terrorist that gets these people get away with fucking literally murder.
Exactly.
Not figurative,
exactly.
Literal.
Nuts.
But all right, let's move on. I think we have a special guest coming on, Bryden.
Yeah, this should lighten the mood a little bit.
This will lighten the mood a lot. So we're gonna pick things up. So Sal, Bryden's calling in. So you got him on?
Yes.
With us on the phone is Bryden Proctor of Right to Bryden. He has an exclusive show at newmediacentral.net. He resides in Hollywood. He was a stand-up comedian for 8 years. He's worked with the likes of Josh Denny and Justin Ruppel. His site is BrydenProctor.com. You can find him on Twitter at Bryden's Not Funny. And he had to make a new YouTube channel, apparently, so his old YouTube channel is gone. You can just search for Bryden Media. So, Bryden, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, despite Atlanta and New York being on fire. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Do you like your Gold Dust music?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's very fitting for someone with a pep in their step like myself.
Yeah. Yeah, you like to, so I want to get right into it. You were on, what show were you on this week? What was the name of the show?
The Andrew Powell Show.
The Andrew Powell Show. Yeah. It's a sports show, correct?
Yeah, and I've been on there many times, and it's been fun. They've usually brought me on to talk about, various social issues, things I know a lot about, such as, addiction, any type of politics. I've made predictions on their show that, of course, ended up being right, and they've always been very civil. And I don't know what happened this last time. I don't know who this person was.
So, all right, let's frame it. So you're on the show, you're talking politics, you're talking your opinion. Now, what were the host name? Was it Pal and his friend Pal and Bill?
Yeah, Bill from Long Island and Andrew Powell, and then I cannot remember the name of this horrible loudmouth woman at all, but it's because I hadn't seen her before. They've gone through plenty of third guests, and she won't last very long.
Yeah, so you've been on several times. They've always been cordial. They've always been good to you. However, this last appearance was about a 15-minute segment. Didn't go so well. So Sal, you just want to play a clip of Bryden's appearance on the show?
Yeah, I could do that.
All right, cool.
Let me punch this up.
We'll edit out that silence.
Yes, we will. But this is what is going to stop next week.
Yeah, with the new mixer.
Yep.
No, I thought you were going to kill yourself. I was concerned.
Yeah, I'm going to stop it all next week. All right, let me. All right, ready? I'm
ready.
It.
Go.
Where are you seeing this racism besides the Black Lives Matter marches?
Bryden, there's racism everywhere. You could go on Twitter and you could easily see racism. You could go on Facebook and easily see racism. Do you realize that
you can walk down the street and easily see racism. You can get pulled over by a cop and easily see racism. You can go into a restaurant and get served and easily see racism. Please.
Okay, when did that happen to you? When were you not served at a restaurant because of your skin color?
What do you mean?
Oh, that's right. That never happened to you.
Please let's not go there.
Bryden Proctor said that it never happened to you because I guarantee it didn't. It did not happen to you because that doesn't happen because it would make no business sense.
I'm guessing Brian Proctor is like living in his own bubble. I'm guessing. Because to say racism does not even exist. Even white people know racism exists, even amongst their own.
Even white people. Now you're othering white folks. So maybe it does exist, and it's coming from you, darling.
Wow. Can't get my popcorn ready.
Do you want to tell us what happened after that? After you called her darling?
Oh, she totally flipped out. And what I meant, and if she would have shut her loud mouth for 1 second, is there is no systemic or institutional racism in the United States. You cannot be denied a job. You can't be fired for your skin color, anything like that. Of course, individual racists exist. They're kind of few and far between. You don't find as many KKK members as you used to. And she refused to believe that because no one wants to feel stupid. And, of course, when you believe, well, I can't succeed, it's not my fault, like she's been fed, and the Black Lives Matter people like to send out there. You can watch these streams from New York and Atlanta and these interviews, and it's all, well, whitey this, and, we never got a chance and all of that. And it's like, well, you never got a job is what happened. You've had a chance. You're fine. Oh, I wasn't served at a restaurant. That never happened. That never, ever happened. Because if it did, one, that restaurant would go out of business because it would become a local news story. Oh, well, I get pulled over and I see racism. You were speeding. I'm going to get a ticket too. It's it's silly, and you can bring it down to the whole profiling argument. But
profiling works, and it's good. It helps keep people safe. When there's a bunch of young black guys in a car and it's smoky, they're more than likely not smoking cigarettes. And they're driving around, and you're not allowed to do that. So when you see a group of people disproportionately doing something, it makes sense to err on the side of better safe than sorry. I mean, you could say the same thing with the very rich on Wall Street embezzling. Martin Shkreli, as hilarious as he is, and how I think that he was fine, and I understand his reasoning for doing what he did with the medication that he upped the price on, he totally is guilty of what was it? Investor fraud or whatever, defrauding the investor. I mean, he's totally guilty of that. And most of the time, when you see a pretty rich white guy who's accused of doing that, he did it. So it goes all these different ways. But she wasn't having it, and she just kept talking about because that is an argument. Definitely, that's an argument. Statistics hurt, and if you don't like that, I was shocked because I love black men a lot, and to find out that they're responsible for so much violent crime was a sad day for me. But you know what I did? I go, numbers aren't racist, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and believe the numbers.
Right.
I mean, the FBI is bullshit, but the numbers came from the FBI.
Right. Well, and what's pisses me off about the FBI statistics is they lump in a lot of times Hispanics with the white numbers, so they don't separate those numbers. They haven't separated those numbers in I think since 2008, so we can't even get a real statistical basis on what the whites are doing. I mean, the only data we can really believe, I think, from the FBI is really the black data, because they're lumping Hispanics in with the whites. They're doing like non-white Hispanics, white Hispanics, whatever the fuck that is. So it's like
Hispanic.
It's a lot of the stats are being turned to be PC. So you can't even trust those stats anymore. And even with the PC stats, it's proportionately, overwhelmingly, there's an issue within the black community. So
now,
absolutely, and it needs to be addressed, because all of this, it was just the system that drove Mekhi Johnson to do what he did, and that's making an excuse. No, the guy's a mentally ill domestic terrorist who got all of this horrible rhetoric in his head that Whitey is the devil, and he went and he hurt and killed people who were just doing their job. And it hurts the black community even more to just continue to spout this rhetoric. I've said it before on this show. I've said it a lot on my show. It's a cultural issue. This whole celebration of ignorance, not saving your damn money. I'm not going to get a job. I'm going to be a rapper and play basketball. It's not good. We need the leaders within that community, not Al Sharpton and the like, who are just money grabbers, and not Sean King, who's white, and a racist. Good Lord. God, I smoke too much. We need actual leaders, like Sheriff Clark is great. Why aren't they looking to people like that? It's because it goes against the narrative, and it goes against this idea that, well, why even try? I'm oppressed. I'll never get anywhere. That type of thinking is horrible for black people. Right. And the young men especially, because it's hard enough to be a guy. Well, imagine being a black guy. That's got to really suck.
Yeah, I mean, we just had this guy Pat on, who is doing YouTube videos. I think he's in his late 30s. He's a family man. He has 3 kids, and he's speaking out against Black Lives Matter. There's finally people in the black community are speaking out against the bullshit. Then last week we had Quay Manuel on, who was in that video arguing with the older Black Lives Matter supporter. Finally, you have a young black teenagers speaking out. So, like you were saying, David Clark, these individuals are the people the black community should be looking at and aspiring to be, and not a bunch of nobody rappers from Memphis, Tennessee going "my dick."
Yeah, I was confused. It was on NPR, and I got into a big fight because I responded to a KTLA tweet. The Game and Snoop Dogg organized a rally, and all I could think was, who gives a shit? Why? Well, since when are the Game and Snoop Dogg experts on the situation? Yeah. And then the responses were, well, they're black. That doesn't make you an expert on shit. It just doesn't. You can't just go, well, I woke up this morning and I was white, so probably should go to accounting. That's not a thing. You have to read. You have to be involved. Like I know European history because I studied it, not because of my skin color. Right. They're entertainers. It would be exactly the same as if we were just like, hey, Johnny Rotten, what do you think of Brexit? Like, you wouldn't do that. They're fucking entertainers, man. And they're great. I love hip-hop music. I'm a big fan. I do a little rap myself. I've worked with Lodi on stuff. But you just that doesn't make you an expert. And that type of thing also hurts the black community because there are experts out there, but they're not getting the time on TV because, well, they're on a rapper. And black folk aren't going to pay attention to them because, hey, we are in a culture that celebrates ignorance and excess. It's so horrible what has happened to black people in this country. It's purely a cultural thing. I don't know exactly when it shifted, but I mean, God, and this is horrible. And this is going to sound extremely racist. Have you ever argued with any of the Black Lives Matter people on Twitter?
Sometimes they immediately block me usually, so I have to go into other accounts to yell at them, and then they block those other accounts.
It's ended in me getting my life threatened.
For better or worse, they engage with me. Yeah, this guy out here in L.A. threatened to dox me earlier, and I do it, faggot. Like, I don't know, what are you going to do? Like, I live in a gated community. Thanks, very white of me. But it's always filled with emojis and words that I don't understand. That's not any type of discourse, civil or uncivil. It's just, why so many emojis? You did the face one time. You don't have to do it 10 times.
Yeah, and that's something we learned a little while ago.
The discourse is the same as if you were to have a discussion with a 14-year-old girl.
Right.
And I think that's the level of discourse that Black Lives Matter sticks to, is easily repeatable rhetoric, in the mantra of, like, pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Like, okay, you thought you were really clever when you came up with that, but now cops are dead, so you should probably fucking stop saying that. And they don't care. It's now all I need to make excuses for these criminals. Black Lives Matter, we know this, was based on a lie.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in Ferguson was justified. I will say Eric Garner, totally unjustified. He shouldn't have been selling cigarettes out there. He had been told not to do it before, but you don't kill a man for that.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that these police shootings and police killings are not justified. It's super rare.
So
and you can give them all of the facts in the world. You can say, hey, look, more facts, more things have developed because we don't live in a culture that just goes out and lynches people. Probably best for you.
Right.
And it doesn't matter because the media has already gotten the outrage, fucking new information, and it ruins cops' lives all the time. So it ruins their career, ruins their lives. If there is a bad cop and they get caught doing some bad shit, fuck them. I think they should be held to a higher level of accountability than a civilian.
Right.
But it's so rare. No cops are waking up every morning and going, well, time to get my gun and my armor, time to go lynching. They don't do that. They don't. Nope. Maybe one ever has done that. And he is in jail.
Right.
and they actually, cops don't go to jail. It happens.
Sal, you have some stats in front of you as far as that's concerned. What do they say?
I think I said this earlier. The Washington Post, police shooting people. They shoot 50% of the people police have shot were white. 26 were black. I have some stats from the Wall Street Journal. They say blacks are charged with 62% of the robberies, 57% of murders, 45% of assaults, but that's because they commit 75% of all shootings, 70% of all robberies, and 66% of all violent crime.
And they're only 13% of the population.
Yeah, and as far as police shootings are concerned, more whites and Hispanics die from police shootings than blacks. And a study from the University of Pennsylvania, a criminologist named Gary Ridgway, he says that blacks and Hispanics, black and Hispanic cops fire more at blacks than white cops do.
Oh, wow. See, that's something I didn't know.
FBI stats: blacks kill more cops than anyone else, and cops are 18.5% more likely to be killed by a black person than to kill a black person.
So, and I think this stat's been mentioned before, as far as the different rape stats. I think that, there was 20,000 black on white woman rapes. Guess how many white on black women rapes there were? None. Literally, I don't think there was one.
And if you want to do the liberal globalist thing and you want to make it worldwide, and you just use the Congo that destroys every other demographic.
Yeah, use a sample of 100,000 people in the Congo, and there you go. They're raping.
Well, everybody gets raped in the Congo. You go to visit the Congo, and they're like, "All right, we're going to bring you in for extra screening," and then you're like, "Oh fuck," and you get raped.
Yep, that's just
somebody's doing the raping.
Or,
Donald Trump said that somebody's doing the raping.
Somebody's doing the raping. I don't know who it is.
Somebody is doing the raping.
Someone's doing the raping.
And it is other people illegally immigrating, and 80% of people coming across women coming across the border are raped. And I think that always hilarious when that's brought up to me is, well, Donald Trump said all Mexicans are rapists, and I said, nope, not what he said at all. He was referring to this, and I sent him a Huffington Post link from 2014.
If you
Huffington Post.
Yeah, the rape trees and all that other shit down there. The southern border is the rape capital of the Western Hemisphere. So,
sounds like a fun time for blonde hair, blue eyed white people. But wait a second, no, it's Hispanics.
And
well, Hispanics do actually disproportionately sexually assault Hispanic men. It's something that I think is due to the machismo culture, and if you look at any of their love songs, poems, lore, anything like that, their romance type things, it is always they're chasing a woman that rejects them and rejects them and rejects them, and then finally they win them over. So it's just part of the, if there is anything close to a rape culture, it's among Hispanics and other people with, quote, romance languages. It's kind of interesting. And I say this all the time because I get called a racist every day. It's not about skin color. It's about the culture.
Right.
And that's just part of the culture. I would hate to be a Hispanic woman. I mean, that's geez. I mean, how many times you got to get raped before you go to work,
Right. Yeah, you're just trying to clean some houses, for God's sakes.
Yeah, geez.
So Atlanta looks like it's popping off. Apparently, they're blocking the exit on I-75 at William Street. There's been a abandoned semi-truck. They had to bring a tow truck in because the semi-truck driver just left it there. Was like, fuck this, and just took off.
I think YouTube is blocking the audio of the live of the live feed that somebody's streaming on YouTube.
Wow. Yeah, but this is the thing. Brian and I were talking about it before in DM. You would think they would give it a break in honor of 5 dead cops. You think they would go, Black Lives Matter was kind of, sort of associated with the death of 5 cops in Dallas. Maybe over the weekend we should, moments of silence and honor the cops. No, more protests. Fuck off. Fucking assholes.
Well, that's because to them, cops' lives do not matter. I was watching some of these interviews earlier, and it was just, well, maybe not you, he said to the white reporter as he just tried to hush his racism for a little bit. Black Lives Matter is anti-white, it's anti-cop. Right. And they this is what they want. I saw somebody pro Micah Johnson tweets that it was ridiculous in defending this, and then immediately it's like, well, I'm not defending him, but in fact, one guy though actually did just say, "Suck it." Very classy individual. This is what they want. So if you say, "Hey, Those cops have families. They're like, well, Alton Brown had a family. Sandra Bland had a family. Well, Sandra Bland had a history of suicide attempts and fucking hung herself. Cops aren't going into jail cells and going like, you know what would be really funny? Let's hang this girl. That's not what they do. They're dehumanizing police, and that's what this rhetoric has done. And now we're seeing this, and it won't be the last one. I'm saying it right here on your show first. This will not be the last one.
Right.
And it's because of the left and their horrible anti-cop, divisionist, racist rhetoric. And I mean, I'm not personally scared because, you know, like, who has emotions anymore? You remember feelings? Those were weird, right? But I cannot stress enough that this is horrible. And these are the same people that said Orlando, Orlando, well, it wasn't ISIS. And I agree, it wasn't planned by ISIS. It was inspired by ISIS rhetoric. It was the guy who watched the propaganda videos. It was inspired by that.
Right.
That's what he was. Well, this wasn't Black Lives Matter. Okay, I doubt that Sean King and D-Ray and shit got together and were like, okay, listen, okay, we're going to give you some guns. I need you to go up there and shoot some cops. No, that didn't happen. But the media pushes this anti-white, anti-cop bullshit, and Black Lives Matter, that's all they do. If you notice on the Andrew Powell show, when I brought up, and this especially pisses me off, when I brought up, okay, what do you have to say about Black Lives Matter halting the Toronto Pride Parade?
Right.
She goes, oh, well, that's because black folks don't like faggots.
Right.
They can't. It's a different culture.
Well, that's what the blacks were mainly responsible for not allowing gay marriage in California, from what I understand.
Exactly. No, you're right. Mm-hmm. The 2008 elections brought out more African American voters in California because of Barack Obama, and they had that
Prop 8 or Prop 9.
Yeah, they had that proposition during the 2008 election, and overwhelmingly, the no vote was from African Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah, gays don't like. The blacks don't like the gays. And you know, the most of the black guys I know are gay. I'm friends with a few straight white guys, but most of them are gay, and they don't adhere to that ghetto culture thing.
Right.
The only time their pants are sagging is when they're bent over my fucking bed. So it's
that was probably the gayest thing that's ever been said on the show. Literally, the gayest thing.
Oh, that's fine. I fuck dudes. I like fucking black guys.
It's fine, but I'm just saying that's the gayest thing ever. Literally.
Yeah, deal with it. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, like, I'm not going to go into detail. You know, like,
yeah, that's fine.
But it is. It's a different culture, and that ghetto culture is ridiculous, and it comes from. It's like if you ever had a punk friend that just like never grew out of it. You know, I've got some friends like that. They're in their 40s, and I'm just like, you're just gonna skateboard and work at a restaurant. You're gonna wash dishes and live with 8 other people your whole life. Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah, I got into a Twitter fight a Facebook fight on one of my friend's walls with one of these people that you're just describing. I posted my picture of like saying, "Oh, look at my wife supports Donald Trump. Isn't that cute?" And he said something about my wife being retarded, and I said, "That's coming from a grown ass man with a fucking mohawk.
Oh,
get the fuck out of here."
I thought you were going to talk about your other friend with the fucking dreadlocks.
Oh, fuck him. He's gone.
That fucking wannabe white Rasta.
Yeah, he's a white guy with dreadlocks to his ass who
with his Bob Marley pillowcase.
Yeah, stop. You're in your mid-30s. Give it up. The dream is dead. Have some kids. Make your parents happy. Actually, you know what? Don't have kids. Just keep doing what you're doing. Actually, don't have kids. I take that back.
See, that's exactly the thing. I think I've got tattoos and like, you know, all of this. I'll bet I can still fit my septum ring in. You know, I used to have a big-ass mohawk. I'm about as punk as they come, man. I used to hop trains and shit like that. You know what I do now? I went to the office today after I went to a sales meeting with a potential client.
Ooh, very punk rock of you.
Because I'm a fucking adult!
You're fucking edgy.
You're an edgelord, Biden. You're paying taxes.
Now I'm an outrage merchant. Just fucking, you know, you gotta grow up. And the black community has essentially, since, you know, gangster rap and stuff, like, you remember, like, Curtis Blow? You know? Like, come on, these are the breaks. You know, woo! It was good times, block parties, cool stuff. Would have loved to have been a part of it. I'm sure a lot of gays were still there. It wasn't a very gay-friendly time, but I'm sure they were out and about and dancing, and, you know, like, that's fun. But then it's NWA, which is punk rock for black kids, and that's all it's become. And then the older folks who survived the 90s, you know, have just still preached that of, like, we're oppressed. And you're not oppressed. There is no systemic racism in the United States. It does not exist. I know that there are racist people, but most of the time they still have friends that aren't like them.
Right.
There is no lynch mobs anymore. That's so rare. And you know what? That even the gays need to calm down there. We're so oppressed. Like, dude, no, that was something that it's still gonna happen, but not nearly to the extent that it did 10 years ago.
Right.
People are pretty much largely okay with people being different.
I live in a white neighborhood, in a white area. I have a lot of white friends. I mean, you know, I have some other, you know, friends, you know, Hispanic and black, but whatever. But most of my friends are white because I live in a white area. I haven't, in 35 years on this earth, I don't think I've met an actual race, like a real, like, frothing at the mouth, kill all the blacks racists. I don't think I have. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think back to, like, my heavy metal days and the hardcore scene, but I haven't.
Even if you look at, like, the alt-right, you know, which they like to throw a big old fit about, the alt-right is not a bunch of anti-Semitic people. They're largely concerned about people like George Soros and Israel, and they like to make funny Jew jokes. Even the guys over at Stormfront, I think, the most anti-Semitic that they can be, you know, they probably would still go, oy vey, that girl is hot. I guess I'm going to go fuck that Jew. People aren't built like that anymore. That's kind of been beaten out of us. But the left is trying to bring tribalism back. And I say, if we're going to have tribalism, everybody gets it, including white folks. Because it's easy to just shit all over white folks all the time and go, oh, whitey, whitey, whitey. Oh, black lives matter. Brown lives matter. White lives matter. Get out of here, racist. You don't get to do that. I, for one, don't want tribalism. I think it's silly. We need to kind of all culturally assimilate. Stop coming into the country and creating your own little sects and just going, okay, well, hold on, this is East Los Angeles, so it's essentially fucking Mexico. No, dude, speak English. Oh, well, this is a black community. Predominantly black, perhaps, but you can't just make your own little country. You can't do it, because otherwise we're going to be in the situation that we are now, which is bordering fucking race war, and the media is just flopping at the mouth every time. They're like, oh, please, 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 let a cop kill a black guy today. Doesn't matter if it was justified or not. We're going to just, oh, man, that'll be so good. The ratings will be great. And that's what they've done, and the media doesn't care. It's their job to sensationalize things.
Yeah, and I don't remember, again, we're going back years ago, I don't remember Bill Clinton getting involved in police shootings. I don't remember George W. Bush getting involved in police shootings. Ronald Reagan, Carter. I mean, if they did, it was rare. Obama, it seems like every time a black kid gets shot or a black guy gets shot, he has to open up his mouth and cause more drama and cause more problems.
Well, what else is he going to do? Admit that he's out of ideas on everything?
Yeah.
I think the things that Clinton did that were fucked up was trying to disarm militias.
Yeah, he went after. He actually was the opposite. He went after white people, like really. Like he went even harder than Obama. But at least he wasn't, going. Well, if I had a son, it would look like this, and So basically, you're putting in the minds of these people that have this victim mentality that these white people are killing the president's son. Like, fucking hey!
He said, if I had a son, he'd look like David Koresh, and then I'm burn his house down. I'm burning his fucking...
And Brian, what you were saying about the alt-right and Jew jokes, Sal is our Jew beard, I guess you can say, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Because you have a Jewish wife.
You're Jewish?
No.
Well, going to put some echoes around that name.
Yeah.
I could.
He has 2 Jewish kids.
No, I'm in an interfaith marriage.
Right.
And... I don't see any anti-Semitism like systematically happening to my wife's family. I don't see,
They're jokes.
Yeah.
We joke around. How many times do we make Jew jokes? Come on.
My wife used to be a cheerleader in high school, so yeah. What does a Jewish cheerleader say? Get that quarterback.
You saw the Hillary Clinton. You saw the Hillary Clinton tweet today. It's about 2 hours ago, where she said, "White Americans need to do a better job of listening when African Americans talk about the barriers they face." That's listen and believe. Sit down. My experiences matter more than facts. Because, you know what? More than likely, every person you've ever met at one point or another has been called a racial slur.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
And that's just because people are dicks, and racial slurs are fucking hilarious because they piss people off. I don't get why. I've been called every name in the book, some of them not even appropriate. I'm not Italian. And it's, to me it's funny. But you can't let that get under your skin, for lack of a better phrase to it. I don't get the othering. Outside of this tinfoil hat theory that I have, that it's divide and conquer. If you can get everybody pissed off at each other, then they're not going to pay attention to Hillary Clinton and all of her emails and corruption and the political race in general on your state and local levels. It's much easier to just piss everybody off, make them mad at each other, and go, well, you're a racist. Right. People are not inherently racist. The reason I was on the Andrew Powell show, though it did not get to be discussed because of that loudmouth individual, was the bank school on the Upper West Side, who is segregating students and teaching them that whites are inherently racist, and that the kids of color affinity group, that is what they call it, just how to deal with racism, because they're going to just face so much racism in their life because, oh no, this is K through 8. These are just kids, man. They don't care. And then, of course, they're giving cupcakes. The kids from the kids of affinity group will come back with cupcakes and let's just coddle them. Coddling a community is not going to help their culture. Right. Saying you're oppressed, here, we need to give you things. You're just, if they weren't already rich kids, you're just bringing this idea of the government owes you something because of slavery or cops or Whitey. Yeah. I'm not sure why the government owes them anything, but it's so detrimental to the black community, and it kind of does break my heart. I wish black guys would stop killing each other so that I could fuck them.
I'm sorry, I know that's serious.
No, it is very serious. Bryden's losing boyfriends. Come on. We have to get on this, Sal. We have to stop the black-on-black crime so Bryden can get more bunghole.
This is true. Jeez.
No, but I was gonna say before about the cops, and every time a black person gets pulled over by a white cop, or even a black cop, sometimes they scream racist. My cousin's a state trooper, and I guess it was the Atlantic City Thruway. Wow, getting really local. He was had a speed trap, and this car goes zooming by, going 95, 100 miles per hour with tinted windows. First off, you can't have the driver's side windows tinted in New Jersey, but that's besides the point. And this is going back a decade or so. He drives past him. He pulls him over, obviously. And he can't see what's behind the tint. And that's one of the reasons why New Jersey, that you can't have those windows tinted, because I think there was a cop death because of tinted windows. The policeman couldn't see inside. But anyway, as the person's rolling the window down, the first words out of the person's mouth were, "You pulled me over because I'm black." My cousin's like,
"Oh my God.
It's 2 a.m. You were going 95 miles per hour and your windows are tinted. How the hell did I know you were black?"
Well, that's the thing, too, is, besides it being a cultural thing where black men do tend to commit a lot more violent crime, it completely ignores the fact that white folks, obviously being 63.7% of the population, also commit a lot of fucking crime. And we get pulled over for doing illegal shit. Most of the time, when people are killed in police altercations or are confronted by the police, I know every time that I've been confronted by the police, I was doing something I wasn't supposed to do. And I thought, I'm an anarchist. Fuck it. I'll do it anyway. And then when I did it, I was just appalled, horribly appalled by the system that would just dare give me a ticket because I'm late. And, you know, there shouldn't be speed limits because that's what is being taught is really like, no, you can do whatever because it shouldn't be illegal because you're black and therefore superior and we have to make up for slavery or something like that. I'm still really not clear on the black supremacist agenda. And the only thing that I've heard come out of Black Lives Matter to do with how to fix the cop situation is no more cops in black neighborhoods. Let's give that a fucking week and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Because they already don't like coming there because you throw bottles and rocks at them. But let's see how that goes. When Dijon and, you know, his little gang over there run your neighborhood. Let's see how that goes. Because it's not going to go well for a lot of people. And it's just such a dumb idea. Like I was saying, with the same comparison to the punk rocker. When you're 16 through 20, you're like, yeah, anarchy, ugh. And then you become a libertarian for a little bit, and then finally you start paying taxes, and you're like, hold on, we should, you know, I need this stuff to protect my stuff. It just never grew out of it. And I heard on the radio today, there's a vigil or something in L.A., and they sent out an invite, and it said, it doesn't matter about your, you know, everybody come out, put your any gang affiliations aside. That's why cops are around, because you have gangs, because of your gang affiliations.
Yeah.
You should never have to put that in an email for a vigil. Like, if a girl gets hit by a bike over in Santa Monica, hey, everybody come out. Put your gang affiliations aside is never part of that email.
Right. Right, yeah. I mean, it's like you said, it's if you take the cops out of the neighborhoods, within a week it's total anarchy. It's going to turn into Escape from New York. They're going to need Snake Plissken to come in and rescue everybody. Go ahead, Sal.
There's already issues arising. It's called the Ferguson effect. Okay. Murders in inner cities have spiked 17% because of cops feeling reluctant to patrol high-crime neighborhoods because they don't want the backlash.
Yeah,
that's a real thing, the Ferguson effect.
Oh, okay. The Colin Ferguson effect?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
you know Colin Ferguson is, right, Sal?
That's the friggin', whatchamacallit?
The black guy that killed all those people, stabbed those people in the subway?
Yeah, the subway stabber.
Yeah, the Colin Ferguson effect. It's a TV show where you dress up as a black guy, go in the subway in New York and stab people.
Jesus.
You know what, with that, I think we have to wrap up, Brian.
All right.
Yeah, no, we have to wrap up because, you know, time and such. Because honestly, to our audience, we started off at an hour and a half shows for like 2 episodes, then went to 2 hours, and then the last 2 episodes have been over 2.5 hours. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing or no one cares, but, you know, the show's a marathon. You have a week to listen to the whole damn thing, and then you could listen to Bryden, Right to Bryden on newmediacentral.net, you know, intermittently when you're doing normal things, because his show is a fuck ton shorter than ours with a lot more information packed into it. Because we just, like, right now, I'm just blabbing. I have no reason to blab. But anyway, Brian, we're going to wrap up. Thanks for coming on. Again, Brian Proctor is, you know, he has an exclusive show on newmediacentral.net. You know, our website, BrydenProctor.com, Twitter @Bryden'sNotFunny. Again, Bryden, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for having me. And I will see you on my show on Sunday.
Yes, I will be on Right to Bryden this Sunday.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right. Wow. So that was exciting, Sal.
Yeah, man.
Bryden's a firecracker, that one.
This has been a crazy show.
Yeah. We're ebb and flow, up and down, highs and lows. It's full of emotions, full of tears, full of laughs, full of nonsense and garbage, mostly being spouted by me and Bryden, but that's fine. And so we use for Bryden's new intro music is going to be Goldust's theme song from now on. Every time he comes on the show.
That's great.
So, I mean, if anyone was a fan of wrestling in the 80s or the 90s, you'll recognize that. Even though I know most of our listeners are probably 22-year-old shitheads.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's the Gold Dust. There's Bryden's music.
Nice.
But, so, wrestlers seem to die a lot. Right? I mean, Macho Man's dead. What do you think happened to Macho Man, Sal?
he fucking crashed.
What do you
his
think happened
Jeep.
to him?
He crashed his Jeep.
Now, do you think how do you think that went? If he's driving down the road, he's in his Jeep. Do you think maybe he's playing his music?
He's driving down the street with his Jeep with his rag top down, playing his intro.
He loves it.
I don't think this was his. I think this was his original, like back in the 80s and 90s.
That's what we want.
But he had a heart attack in a wheel because he was a cokehead.
Oh no!
Yeah, he's dead. He's a goner.
Oh no, a deer! My heart!
There you go.
Well, there goes Macho Man Randy Savage. Holding coke. Driving it in a car. Oh no!
What are we doing?
Snap into a tree!
Holy shit.
Oh, have you ever heard... have you ever heard the Hulkster in Heaven song?
Not until tonight.
Did you know it was dedicated to Michael Brown? So you want to play this? It was sad. Hulk Hogan actually wrote this song for Michael Brown. Go ahead, Sal, play it.
Why was it dedicated to Michael Brown?
Because Michael Brown was a Hulkamaniac.
Oh. That makes a lot of sense.
People don't know that.
I saw it on TV. I guess I'll be one empty seat when I wrestle at Wembley.
I never knew he had a song. This is so horrible.
So sad.
I know you were a Hulkamaniac when you robbed that convenience store. I can't.
No, keep going, keep going. Let's be honest, Michael Brown isn't in heaven.
Wow. Oh, man.
So, yeah, Michael Brown was a Hulkamaniac, and Hulk Hogan wrote that nice song for him. No, seriously, he wrote that years, like decades ago. And I just wanted an excuse to play it.
Dude, I am so surprised I never heard of that before.
Yeah. No, that's... it's a popular one, Sal.
I was not... my opinions and the people I followed in wrestling didn't make me well-liked at the time as a child because I was the one that liked the Ultimate Warrior over Hulk Hogan.
Oh, well, there you go. That's your first mistake.
He was a fucking... maniac. He was the real maniac.
He shook the ropes, Sal.
Yeah, man. And
he had tassels like a bicycle,
like a girl's bike. Yeah,
like a girl. Who said that?
That was a meme.
Is that a meme?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I knew it. Yeah. I was like, I can't be that smart and make that up that quick. All right. So you were an Ultimate Warrior fan. I was a Hogan person myself. I was also a Hacksaw Jim Duggan person for some fucking reason. Ho!
Is he still alive?
Yeah. Funny you mention it. I remember a couple years ago, he commented on some political article using his own personal Facebook, and people are like, "Holy fucking shit! Hacksaw Jim Duggan's still alive, and he's a conservative." It's like, of course he's a conservative. He used to run around waving the American flag. Come on, stop it.
Wasn't the American flag like taped to a friggin' 2x4?
Yeah, that was his thing. He would do the 3-point stance, and he would have the 2x4. Yeah, no, that was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So, I mean, I don't know. So, Sal, did you know any wiggers in high school?
Besides me?
Besides you in 8th grade for 2 months with your FUBU sweater. You didn't have no, seriously. Did you have any sort of, like, what would be considered black clothing in the 90s? Come on, admit it. You heard it here first, folks.
Besides, like, having my starter jacket and my...
Now, every white kid and black kid had a starter jacket.
I had to turn my hat backwards.
That's getting somewhere.
The sagging of the pants and...
Yeah, you did that, didn't you?
I think that's as far as I went.
Now, what type of jeans did you wear? Were they Levi's? Were you sagging Levi's? What were you sagging?
That was possible. I don't remember.
You were busting the sag with some Levi's.
Yeah, man.
It's good. It's a good look. They're still doing it. Now they're doing it with, like, tight jeans. I don't understand what's going on. Like, I understand, sagging with baggy jeans, I suppose, but now they're doing it with these tight red jeans.
Oh, I don't understand these, like, hipsters, even the black hipsters.
I don't get it, and I don't want to. Rah!
Dude, their friggin' nuts are getting crunched in these fucking jeans. I don't know how they walk around. I don't know how they sit or stand up or anything.
Well, like we said before, Bud Bundy was a wigger.
We played his rap song earlier.
We played his rap song. But when David Faustino, when he was, like, getting ready to, like, do a concert, what do you think he was listening to?
He's getting himself hyped up.
He's getting hyped up. What song do you think he would have picked?
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all.
I'm surprised they don't play this at Black Lives Matter demonstrations.
I'm sure they do. It'd be good.
We should drive past one of these demonstrations blasting this out of our car.
I do that already. I drive in Newark and New Brunswick blasting this. With my white family and my crossover SUV. With my Trump sticker on. So, Sal, I don't know. You want to close the show? Do we have anything else to fucking talk about?
Not at the moment, no.
Do you think
we gotta do our massive list of plugs?
Oh, yeah, the massive list of plugs. So I guess let's cue the music, Sal.
Yeah, let's cue it.
I'm waiting for you. Professionals here, Sal. Come on.
We are, man.
All right, again, we are the Patriarchy Show, part of NewMediaCentral.net. We have a Patreon. Yeah, my Patreon, like a lot of fat internet feminists have, but we actually do stuff and produce content. New Media Central, we are an independent network of new and younger conservative and kind of libertarian voices. You can find informative news, commentary, and thought-provoking podcasts, obviously, because we are very thought-provoking with the Michael Brown tributes.
Man.
And honestly, like we were talking in the beginning, we are rapidly growing. We are independent of PAC and mainstream media influence or money. So that's, in layman's terms, we're broke. So we could use some help to produce this content independently. And honestly, we appreciate any help you can offer. I wrote a book, Sal.
Did you?
Someone let me publish a book.
Wow.
Why? Yeah. I don't know. If you like poetry, which none of our listeners do, Broken Volume 1, you can find it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble in print and ebook or Kindle or Nook copies. That's Broken Volume 1. You know what I'll do? If you do go to our Patreon and do like a $3 a month commitment, I will email you a PDF copy of my book. I know, big price.
You should go to their house and read it to them.
I will read it to them. They can sit on my lap. No, but seriously, if you go to our Patreon, if you do $3 or more a month commitment on our Patreon, I will give you a free PDF copy of Broken Volume 1. Honestly, I think I did a good job.
I think you did.
I mean, I think it's a good book. It's poetry. It's kind of deep. There's a little bit of short stories, a little bit of intro about my life. But also, so let's move on. Heart of a Marine Foundation. Go to heartofamarine.org. The Heart of a Marine Foundation is a non-profit organization that provides comfort, support, financial assistance, and educational resources to improve the quality of life of military personnel in all branches of the United States Armed Forces, including veterans and their families. Again, it's heartofamarine.org. That's the foundation my childhood friends' parents run. So check them out. And I want to thank Bryden Proctor for coming on. His show, Right to Bryden, can be found on this very network, newmediacentral.net.
Yeah, man.
I'll be on with Bryden this Sunday night, actually. So catch me there. Also, I want to thank Pat. You can find him on YouTube. Just search Your Boy Pat. His Twitter is at YourBoyPat47. I want to thank Ralph of TheRalphRetort.com for having me on his live stream last night. That was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing more streams with him in the future. Almost done here. Thank you to Feminist Flo. Feminist Flo is the one who hooked up a couple of these interviews. He's been a big help. Thank you, Feminist Flo. You can find him on YouTube, at Feminist Flo. Search Feminist Flo. His Twitter's at Feminist period. So I'm assuming at Feminist Flo was taken. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's it, Sal. That's the plugs.
It's been a good show, man.
We wrapped it up nice and tight with a bow.
There you go, man.
So we out?
We are out.
All right, later, everybody. See you next week.